Good to see you again, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Holy
Always
smokes.
a pleasure to be out here in Tehachapi.
Yeah. How long you in town this time?
I came in town around April the 6th, and I'm looking to be here for about another 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. Good to have you around.
Wrapping up some training, revamping some safety precautions, and moving forward with a bigger and better project.
Oh, all right. All right. So regular annual training. That's the basic, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what else is going on?
Safety, pushing safety. Safety is a big thing. I watched a couple of people that came on the podcast, and I noticed everything was built around safety, cultured around safety, and, I like the fact that everybody's big on safety.
It comes up, I think, nearly every single podcast. No matter who I'm talking to, no matter what we're talking about, something comes up about it. We work in a very dangerous industry. Like, it doesn't matter what you do.
Absolutely.
It's a dangerous industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it brings up a question. I kind of sit back and I think about things a lot. And the biggest question that I wonder is, where does safety start? Does safety start in training? Does safety start when you take on a new role? Does safety start when you take on a new job? Does safety start when you sign that JSA to take on a new project or operation or task even? The question is, where does the safety start?
Interesting. I'd probably counter it by saying, when does safety stop?
It never stops.
That's right.
My thing is, I think some people might say safety is a role. There's safety directors, there's safety managers, there's safety personnel, and all of them hate OSHA. They don't want to see OSHA on the sites because if OSHA's on the site, safety didn't do something right.
Oh, okay.
Or, a mishap happened, and accidents will and do happen.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is, if you ask 10 people, where does safety start? What kind of answers do you think you'll get?
Well, I'm hoping I get an answer like the one I gave, right? Like, when does it stop? Because the start-stop is I don't know where you're going with this, but it's a myth, right? Because it's constant. But, if I were to guess, I might say you might get some answers about when I clock in. When I'm having my tasks are scheduled to me, so I have to do a safety JSA, right?
Correct.
It might say when I go to work to make sure that I have the right precautions put in place, lotto, verifications, PPE, those things.
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping those aren't the answers we get, but I could imagine some of those. What are you thinking? It might. Oh, and you said job, so it might say with the safety manager.
Yeah, some could say
Could be that. It could be with the boss. I'll throw out boss since I don't like that term, but that could be something. Okay. All right, so those are my thoughts. What do you got?
So my thoughts are this: it depends on who you ask.
All right.
If you ask the leadership, safety starts when you say, "Hey, this is the task we're doing today." The question you have to ask yourself is, has the leadership thought about the job at hand, or has the leadership stopped and said, hey, how can this task get done safely? And that's a big question, because a lot of times we take on roles, but we don't really understand what that role consists of. And we can all say in this industry, safety is one of the biggest roles we take on. And it doesn't matter what position, if you're the first day on the job, if you're in training, if you're the person who's been on the site for 20 years, or if you're the company owner. At the end of the day, everybody, is it safe to say, can say safety is the most important thing on the job?
I sure hope so.
I hope so too. So the question is, when you take on the leadership role, does safety training come into place? So if you have a technician that you want to bump up to a lead position, is there a safety training that comes with that? And I'm not saying just for one company, but as a whole in the industry. What safety training do we put our leadership into to make sure they understand that safety is still a part of their role?
I love these questions. Okay, I heard two questions. I'm going to try and answer them. The first one was, is safety involved in that promotion or that right to that new level? And I would say it better be, because yes, and it comes with more responsibility and a different way of managing safety. It may not be you doing it, but it's you prescribing it, right? Saying this is your task. So yes, there's a new level of safety that is required after that promotion.
Absolutely.
Your second question was, do we provide that training?
Correct.
I sure hope the answer is yes with most companies, because even in the job that I have today, safety is a requirement for me. It's just looks a whole lot different.
It does.
Than when it's in the field. But if I don't do it, then I'm failing as well.
Yes,
So
sir.
Are we training is the question. Our promoted leads, promoted supervisors, promoted managers, I think
Absolutely,
is what you're
because
asking.
at some point, safety is not just on yourself, but now it's on other people. And you have to think, as you move through the ladders, and you move up through the ladders, you're responsible for more people. Not only are you responsible for more people, but you're responsible for different roles that those people do. You have some people who are responsible for working heavy equipment. You got some people who are responsible for, troubleshoots. You got some people who are responsible for, pad mount switching and all the electrical aspects. You take on all of those roles. So the safety aspects change throughout all of those roles. So you got to climb that ladder with the safety protocols as well.
Yes.
They all go hand to hand.
Yes.
So as you move up the ladder into different roles, safety should become more and more important, because it's not just your safety or the people you're working with safety, but it's the whole company as a whole safety that you have to look more into.
So what have you found out there? What kind of training comes to a person that's promoted? Just say like to lead tech. Is that the job example you're using?
Absolutely.
What kind of safety training are you seeing given to leads?
Well, I see through the company as a whole, safety should not be a role. Safety is not just for leadership. Safety should be a culture that's created and passed on from the person who's the most senior all the way down to the person who just started the first hour of the job. And the reason I say safety should be a culture is because for an example, if you have a kid and they're old enough to drive, are you just going to hand them the keys to your car and say, hey, you're not to drive, hey, you're able to drive, you're old enough, here's the keys to my car, go on down the road and drive?
It's what every parent does, right?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't. My thing is, I want to ride with you and I want to see your bad habits.
Yeah.
I want to see if you're safe. I want to see if you put your seatbelt on, if you check your mirrors, if your hands attended to, those things they teach you in driver's ed. I want to see if you paid attention to driver's ed or if you just use ChatGPT to pass.
Yeah. Ooh.
I want to pay attention to different things. Do you speed? Do you watch your speed? Do you watch other drivers? I want to know your pros and your cons. Because if I'm responsible, not just giving you the keys to my car, but if I'm responsible for your life, it's important for me to ride with you. And I can say, yes, you're ready, or I can say, no, you're not ready. And it's my job that if I realize that you're not ready, my responsibility becomes I can either get you ready, or I can say, you know what, I'm going to pass the buck to someone else to get you ready.
Makes sense.
It's a choice. I can send you to driver's ed, driving school, whatever it takes, hire somebody to tutor you, to teach you to drive, whatever it takes. Your driving might scare me. So I might pay somebody to take that risk instead of myself. But at the end of the day, I'm responsible for making sure you're safe on that road. And not just your safety, because when you're on that road, other safety matters as well. And this doesn't matter what industry you're in, you're responsible for making sure you're safe as well as others.
Yes. That sounds like lead training on safety.
It's lead training and creating a culture of safety. Because just going through and saying, and mishaps do happen. Sometimes there's no way to, mishaps happen and there's no way to stop it from happening. It's life. But there's the first thing called engineer controls. If you can engineer out a risk or mitigate the risk, that's the reason for signing the JSA and doing the JSA is you identify, you mitigate, and you try to engineer out the risk with the engineer controls. The PPE is your last level of defense, and that's to protect you for the mishaps that happen and can happen, and for the most part will happen, that we can't control. I mean, nobody says, hey, I can control this mishap, and it still happens. That's the point of the JSA, is to identify all hazards. And then in the beginning, you say, hey, this is the hazards we face. If you see something coming while you're working, you stop, go back to the JSA, relook at the JSA, and identify the new hazards. That's the living document, meaning the JSA does not stop. If you see a new hazard, you identify it, come back to the drawing board and find a way to mitigate it, work through it, or stop work altogether until you come up with a game plan. There's no push on and keep going. The job's got to get done. At that point, you got to ask who's responsible for keeping on going instead of stopping and saying, hey, we need to regroup. Okay. And I'm hoping it's the person who's trained in safety.
You're hoping it's which person?
Any person who's on the job. Because we are all safety officers. We can all stop work. And the key is, does everybody know and realize that? I will politely tell my boss this is unsafe. And I would like to think that I wouldn't get reprimanded for saying this is an unsafe practice. Let's go back to the drawing board and find a way to make this safer for us as a company.
No, you can't be. Well, if you are, that manager did something wrong. Yeah. But that's just, you're protected from that. So no one should feel fear from reporting something.
Absolutely. If safety is important, we're going to hit it hard, and let's focus on how we can make safety the priority and not so much pointing the finger or saying, hey, we did this wrong, we did that wrong. Let's go back to the drawing board and say, how can we create a better culture of safety? Mm-hmm. You know, back in the day, I sit back and I think about stuff a lot. I sit in a hotel room and I got nothing but downtime.
All right.
The biggest thing I think about is, remember back as a kid, we played Follow the Leader?
Oh, yeah. On the playground, you bet.
Did you trust the leader? Or you just followed him because you were told to?
You just followed him because you were told to. This is grade school.
As you get older.
That was the game.
As you get older, do you just follow the leader, or you say, wait, let me stop and think about where we headed?
Well, it was a trick in grade school. They just wanted you back in the classroom and off the playground.
They took the kid who followed directions the best.
Yeah. And
who did what they were told and said, hey, you're in the front. Everybody else is going to follow you. Yeah, and they tell that one kid, hey, you need to do this, and everybody else is following. Everybody else's responsibility, just follow the person in front of you.
You just wanted your shot to be the leader once in a while. It was a trick, right?
But how do you become the leader?
Well, in grade schools, be fast.
Or just sit back and say, hey, I'm doing what I'm told instead of what's right. Because sometimes, you got to think about it. Sometimes you're told, hey, let's get this job done. But at the end of the day, has everybody stopped and said, hey, how do we get this job done safely? Let's take a minute, just outside of the JSA. How much time do we have to complete this task? Are we in a rush to complete this task? Are we taking side cuts, or are we following the proper procedures? And that's the reason policies and procedures are written. Every job out there, you don't just go and do a job and not know how to do it. That's the reason why they have procedures on the job. And everybody who's doing that job is responsible for learning one thing from their leadership. Where's the manual? Where's the procedures? Let's look at the procedures, follow the procedures. And me as your leader and as your lead tech, I'm not going to just say, did you read the policies and procedures? Because you're probably going to tell me yes. You're not going to say, no, I didn't look at that. Who's going to do that? Let's be honest. So it's my job to give you a
hopefully the honest person, by the way.
Honest person.
Yeah.
You got to take the good and the bad because they're out there.
Yeah, and they're out there.
So the thing is, I'm going to check and say, hey, what's the first procedure? What's next? I want to make sure that you understand the procedures as much as I understand the procedures. So in the event that I forget a step, you know it. That's the point of having a buddy system and being a team. There's nobody working on a project by themselves for that reason. And that's in the policies and procedures.
Right.
It just holds people accountable for doing the right thing.
I love the accountability.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you got a ton of passion about this right now.
It's
loving
safety.
it.
I love safety.
I'm loving it.
I've learned that in the military. At the end of the day, everybody wants to go home safe. Everybody wants to get back to their loved ones. Everybody wants to have a job the next day, And the only way that's going to happen is if everyone understands the importance of the culture of safety.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Altair Energy Services, and their highly trained, expert technical staff, leveraging decades of renewable power management experience into customized solutions for everyone to meet their energy goals and contribute to a better future for all. Altair's team of hardworking, respected experts are providing full-scope, turnkey repairs, planned and unplanned maintenance, system upgrades, fully autonomous technical crews,
supplemental staffing, and customized dynamic scheduling to fit your power production needs. Contact Altair at info@altairEnergyServices.com and learn more about their wide range of capabilities across multiple power technologies and platforms.
The culture of safety. We got to unpack that one. I want to back up to a couple of things. You took us through so much stuff, so I want to try and unpack a little bit of it, right?
Okay.
You made the comment that accidents are going to happen. Like sometimes it just happens.
Yes, sir.
I don't know of a single like safety director and above, executive, etc., that would agree with you. Every one of them that I've heard says every accident is preventable. Mm-hmm. What do you say?
Every accident could be preventable. This maybe a better way here's the thing. If you're doing the right things and you understand the importance of safety, you should be okay. That's like saying, hey, you know, I'm going to drive this car and everything's going to be okay, but then you have a blowout. You hit a pothole in the road you didn't see coming. You run over an animal that punctures your tire. There's just some things that you don't foresee coming. And, I mean, you know, there's just accidents happen. We would love to prevent them. I mean, I've had a couple of accidents that happened and I wish I could have prevented. But unfortunately, I understand what comes with life is accidents happen.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely no way to 100% prevent an accident, but you can mitigate. For an example, I know that if I don't tie off like I'm supposed to and like the policies and procedures tell me I should do, I'm taking that as a risk because now I didn't do something I was trained and was supposed to do. I neglected safety. There's a difference from accidents and there's a difference from neglecting safety. And am I really responsible for neglecting safety if I didn't read the policies and procedures on how to do something safely? That's my fault. I'm responsible for that. Therefore, yes, that accident could have been prevented. But if I went through all the procedures and all the steps and an accident took place, I at least can say I did all the proper steps to prevent this accident, but it still happened.
Okay, let's walk through an example, a hypothetical. Okay. You tell me. I'm walking. It's cold out, so I got a big jacket on, my hands in my pockets, and I just sort of drag a toe, right? Or it stubbed on something, and down I go. I didn't get my hands out of my pockets in time, so I just sort of turned a little bit, and now I got a bruised knee and a bruised shoulder, and I even bumped my noggin a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Preventable or not?
Anybody who stubbed the toe on a coffee table could tell you, you don't want that to happen.
Stubbing a toe.
Could you be more aware of your surroundings? Well, yes. Oh. Especially if you know that hazards exist. I can promise you this. If I'm in a house full of coffee tables, I'm not walking around in the dark.
Stubbing a toe is a good one. All right.
So, yeah, something I'm like, hey, I'm going to turn on the light. So could it be prevented? Yes. And at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to make the right decision, and sometimes you just got to stop for a second and think, is this safe or is this something I need to regroup and find a way to prevent something that could happen from happening?
Well, you've probably been to safety meetings titled Trips,
yeah.
Trips, Slips, and Falls.
Absolutely.
Right?
Safety.
And you got to prevent those trips, slips, and falls because it is something, right? Just the human walking, but sometimes.
I mean, here's an example.
Stub a toe.
Here's an example. We're in Tehachapi. It snows.
Yeah.
How many of us say, hey, I want to step on black ice and slip? Walking to the truck. Walking out your house in the driveway. Who just says, you know what, I could prevent it, but am I going to walk around with snow boots and chains on my feet? No, probably not. I know the hazard exists. I know I have to be mindful of the hazard, but will it still happen? It's possible. So I'm responsible for stopping and saying, okay, what can I do to mitigate this hazard? You know, should I put things in place? Could I salt the driveway the day before? You know, there's just a matter of you stopping for 1 second and either pre-planning or stopping to make a plan after you realize, hey, there's something that exists.
Yeah, you can always kind of think ahead. You know, they catch me off guard when I'm not at work the most.
What's that?
It's just safety. So I got one on ice. A particular Sunday morning after church 15 years ago, maybe more. Got the family were going after church to another family member's house for lunch, right? Mm-hmm. And we were in Iowa, so it's snow and it's ice. And I didn't know they didn't, clean off their walk. I could see the concrete. Mm-hmm. I slipped, and when I did, I worked so hard not to touch a family member, and I went down like a cartoon, right? Like the feet go out fast.
Mm-hmm.
I bumped the back of my noggin so hard, my jaw was sore for a week.
Oh, man.
It ricocheted, you know? Could you prevent it? Of course.
Yeah.
Don't go in that door.
Sometimes we've done
Go
things
change
so
your
many
clothes and get your
times.
boots on and get your cleats on.
Sometimes you do things so many times that you forget to stop for that 1 second and say, hey, the last 20 days, I've walked on ice, didn't slip. All it takes is one time.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you'd have been paralyzed because for that one time, you didn't stop and say, hey, what can I do different than I've done the last 20? That's called complacency.
Yeah. For me, it's always been making safety priority. I've talked about this several times. For me, it was a very hard thing to make safety priority. I'm a result-oriented person. I want to achieve my goal, sometimes no matter what. So for me, I wasn't ever thinking about it. It took Oscar Villalobos, I talk about him. It took a person to come into my life and really not give up on me, to convince me that there's a better way. And you know what was funny? It didn't happen until I was a director. And he took all that more time because he knew how important it was for me as the director to be focused on safety and run the right program so that everyone else could go home without getting hurt. So you talk about giving the lead tech safety training. I had a big, come to you-know-who moment as a director. And here, you're a director. You need to be treating safety differently. So not just the lead, supervisor, manager, director, all these things. You're spot on, Mike, and I love it.
Your new hires are playing follow the leader. The question you got to ask yourself is who are they following?
All right, follow the leader.
Are they following a culture of safety, or are they following a directive?
Yeah. What is the difference there? Let's unpack culture versus directive.
Is me telling you, hey, this job's got to get done. I'm not going to give you the policies and the procedures. I'm not going to give you the procedures on how to get this job done, but I'm going to tell you I need this job done by the end of the day. That's a directive.
Mm-hmm.
If I say, hey, this job has to get done, let's sit back. I know you've never done this job. Let's sit back and think of how we can get this job done safely. Let's talk about it. Have you ever done this job before? No, I haven't either. Let's look more in detail to how we can perform this task and do it safely. Is there more additional training we need before performing that task? Is this task clear and the procedures to complete this task put in place? Because if you don't have a procedure and something happens, does that fall on the technician or does that fall on the people who are responsible for making sure that everyone is safe?
Ooh, I love this. We've talked about this. It often gets in the report, in the findings, found contributing factors, causal factors, root cause, that the technician did this task wrong. What you don't find, because it's nearly impossible, is how was that technician trained?
That's the importance of procedures.
Probably some documents out there, probably some signatures. But what was that relationship really like with the person that trained them, with the person that directed them, as you say? I think it has a huge weight on the safe actions, and that is culture.
Some of the things that I feel, I'm not in a position to implement some of these things, but what I feel would be great, and it would hold people more accountable. With accountability comes safety. Yeah. Because when people know they're accountable and they're held accountable, they tend to maneuver differently. If you tell me that I'm responsible for my subordinates, I'm going to make sure I know the strengths and the weaknesses of all my subordinates. I know who's capable of what and who's not capable of what. And I'm going to make my strongest link my weakest link, and my weakest link my strongest link, meaning we're going to move as a team. With that being said, if we had a procedure to do, I'm going to make sure everybody reviewed that procedure. And it goes back to what I was saying. Everybody reviewed that procedure. And I'm going to take it a step further. Let's all sign off that we reviewed this procedure. Because in the event that something happens, we have to have some kind of documentation. I don't want OSHA to come down on me and they're like, hey, what documentation do you have? And I'm like, nothing. I want to be able to show OSHA I did everything possible to prevent something. And then they can say, okay, this was an accident. They did everything in place to prevent. So if there's a procedure written on how to do something, I want a logbook following that procedure.
Okay, I'm with you. Feels more like directive still. So I'm going to challenge this a little bit.
Yes, sir.
I think culture would be if you and I are out doing something and you've learned Adam's pretty accident prone and he's very result oriented. We're going to get the job done. That's not in question. But this son of a gun might hurt himself. So what culture to me would be, you just saying that to me, Adam, I'm worried about you today. I'm going to keep an extra eye on you, and I'm going to have to check in on you that you're doing it safe before each move. That's culture. You care about me.
Yes.
Right? You took the time to get to know me, and you care about me.
When they know you care about their safety, they tend to care about their safety a little more.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to say, hey, go get this job done. Safety went out the window. Now they're focused on doing the job rather than being safe. But when they like, hey, they're caring about me being safe, I got to show them that I thank them for caring about me being safe. I care about their safety too. We're going to do this the safest way possible. It's not just about getting the job done. A lot of times it's about getting the job done safely. 90%, all the time. It's all the time. Getting the job done safely. I don't want to work. If somebody didn't care about my safety, I would not do it.
So
that's why I'm not an NFL football player.
That's culture, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's what culture is.
Culture is caring. At the end of the day, we're all work family.
Yeah.
We are all work family. So therefore, I'm going to treat my coworkers the same way I would treat my brothers, my sisters. We are all family. All family. Therefore, if my brother doesn't get home, I'm concerned. Not just about him, but his family. I feel responsible because my brother didn't make it home when I could have stopped and said, let's do this different.
So culture is you saying me go to work and you say, hey, stop for a second. Did you control your energy? Do you have the right PPE? What are you doing next?
Yes.
What are your risks? You pausing me to think about it, that's culture. You letting me get hurt and then just, you knucklehead, you do it every time.
Yeah.
That's not culture, is it?
No.
Well, it's a type of culture, I suppose.
That's negligence. And the thing is, if we're working together and I care about you and I care about your safety, sincerely care about you and your safety, I'm a buddy check you. I'm going to say, hey, did you get the proper PPE? And I'm not going to stop at you saying, yeah. I'm going to be like, let's look at it. Let's inspect it. Aren't we supposed to inspect our PPE? Break it out. Let's look at it. Let's do this together. I'm not going to trust that you know how to inspect the PPE. We are all competent inspectors at some point. We have to buddy check and look out for each other. Even OSHA says that the wearer inspects their harness and it has to get inspected by another person. And the thing is, if that's a mandatory thing, why? It's to verify that someone else competent inspected something and it's not just the user.
Mm-hmm.
That's a policy for a reason.
Buddy check.
Buddy checks.
I don't think I've heard that term before.
Buddy check is, man, it's been around.
Been around. Okay.
I learned that one in Airstreams.
All right.
They're like, hey, buddy check. Sign a JSA tailgate meeting, buddy check, stretch. I'm going to make sure you stretch.
That's a good one. That's very
Man,
good.
I don't want to have to rescue you because you got up tower and pull something.
That's good. It's good, especially as I get older. That's a great one. All right, buddy checks. I'd love to hear what some of the great buddy checks out there are. Can we do that? If I want to hear out there, let's do a little reel, Jacob. What was your favorite buddy check that you received from a buddy? Let's get a list of those, and we're going to do a giveaway on that.
The favorite buddy check I've received, leg straps. There's times that, you put your harness on and the leg strap gets twisted. I had a buddy, I didn't know how to take it. I'm like, man, he's checking me out way too much. And no, reality, I thanked him for that. My leg strap was twisted. And, not only would I have been uncomfortable as I climbed up the tower, but imagine if I fell and my leg strap was twisted. That's something that could have had a bigger impact than me just letting him buddy check me and say, hey, your leg strap's twisted, and fixing it right then and there like I did. Another thing that I could say, and I learned this as an instructor at Airstreams, I've had students who would put their leg straps on loose. A loose leg strap is just as bad as not having, well, not as bad as not having one. But if you happen to fall and that leg strap's loose, there's videos on the internet that you can look at from having leg straps too loose when a person fell.
What happens?
It's pretty graphic.
Well,
fucking ball sack blows out and shit. You can look it up. But it's important to know how to put that harness on and have a buddy check you to make sure it's fitted. A harness could be loose, could be too tight. and not work properly. If I'm over 310 pounds, is that harness going to work properly? Probably not. If I'm under 130, that harness is designed for the weight factors. The lanyards are designed for weight factors. That's why the minimum requirement for the harness is 130 weight, and the max is 310. All these things are required because that's what make your gear acts and operates properly.
You still got me on that. That was graphic. I'm still hanging there. So I think what's important is to know that there are there are more pain-free ways to protect from having children than loose leg straps.
Man, that leg strap. That's why it was important to me.
Guaranteed.
When it was
not
twisted,
have kids.
I've never seen the videos or the pictures
straps.
after having a twisted leg strap. But I can tell you, I've seen the one where it was too loose, and I went ahead and fixed that leg strap and thanked him for buddy checking, and that's why it sticks today. That's one of the most important things that happen with a buddy check.
All right, man. Thanks for sharing that one.
Biggest part. Here's another one that I'm gonna throw out, and I threw this out in a safety meeting the other day. A lot of times we work in the sun. So it's important to have, shades on to protect your eyes from the sun rays. And we're out in California where the sun shines bright. So a lot of times the technician will have shades on. But when you get up in that nacelle, is shades the best thing to have on?
No.
So therefore, if a responsible tech would have a pair of clear lens as well to switch out.
Yeah.
And you risk people not switching out their lenses, kind of tilting their shades down to look at something. And that 1 second that you tilt them down or take them off completely, which should never happen. But that's the importance of transitional lens in this industry.
Oh.
It's because the transitional lens help you when you transition from the sunlight to now you're in a dark area and it clears out your glasses and you can see clear. It helps keep the integrity in people wearing their safety glasses at all times.
Transitional.
There's no reason to take
I didn't
them
know
off.
they made transitional safety glasses.
Yes, sir.
Ah, okay. I've never seen
They're
them.
a little more expensive,
Okay.
but what's the price of someone's vision?
Priceless.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't know they had those. That's a good tip. That's a great tip. No, you're right. Anytime in my life, it's just sort of flip them up. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. Got to change them
I've been
out.
guilty myself.
Yeah.
A few times
too
I'm like,
easy.
let me just tilt down and look, and okay, that's clear, and put them back on.
It's too easy.
But that 1 second that they're down, something could have happened, and boom, I don't have my PPE on.
The one that hand injuries. And now there's so many different glove types for the job you're doing. You don't have to just take off your gloves to have some dexterity. What you should be doing is switching your gloves.
Correct.
Right? Are you cutting? Are you climbing? Are you, grabbing small nuts and bolts? Well, there's a glove for each of them.
There is.
And you need to have them on you, have them handy, and just switch them out. It's kind of like flipping your sunglasses up versus, take off your climbing glove to put on, the one you need for dexterity, or cutting and getting an injury, right?
Yes,
But you
sir.
don't. A lot of people, they just slip them off and go do that little thing.
And
And
then
that-
one time,
End up with a little first aid and, heaven forbid more. But
all it takes is one time. We talked about it. You can walk on ice many days and get in your truck in the morning out your driveway, but all it takes is one time. You hit your noggin, as you mentioned. I bet you think twice about it now.
oh, man.
If you see ice on the driveway, you're like, let me be more careful, put more precaution and measurements and safety in place.
Oh, yeah. I've been slow ever since. That's 15 years or so. Yeah. Oh, man. I remember
And
that.
I mean, accidents do happen. And sometimes, complacency doesn't happen. Yes. Do we really want it to happen? Probably not. Hopefully not. But once you stop and you take a second and you make it a culture to say, you know what, nothing's ever a rush to be complacent. When you take that extra second to say, you know what, let me woosah and stop for 1 second, clear my mind of everything, and think about the safest way to do this task. Me and Colton went out today to a Met Tower. I'm going to tell you, I'm proud of him. He did something today, and I was like, you know what? This is one guy that I would love to go out with because he put safety first.
Okay.
He said, Mike, I'm putting all my gear on my harness, and he's putting his gear on. And he said, can you buddy check me? He was like, and at the time, he was like, my lanyards are clear. This is clear. And I'm like, you know what? He pre-gamed every move he was going to make when he was already up the tower right there on the ground.
No kidding.
No kidding. And I'm like, he was like, hey, I got my work position. I'm already have it adjusted to the proper length that I'm going to need up tower. And, man, our buddy checked him pre-gaming while he was on the ground for what he was going to do up tower. And it gave me a sense of comfort because I'm like, okay, I'm aware of what his steps are. So when I see him taking his steps, I'm aware that, hey, coach, stop right there. You said you were going to do this, this, and this. Had he missed a step?
Wow.
And that's the most important part of buddy checking is what exactly is going to happen. So had he missed a step, I'm like, Colton, stop right there. Remember you said you were going to do this. And he's like, oh, yeah, thank you for reminding me. That's the importance is knowing what's going on. Be in the moment.
Well,
Pay attention.
That's a concept. Ask your buddy for a buddy check.
Absolutely.
Make it simple, right? Make it simple. Hey, thanks for sharing that with me. I don't get to hear a lot of field stories about my
I was
boy,
proud of
so
him today.
that's
Colton,
really
I'm proud
cool.
of you. I remember, and I that's one thing that hit me hard today that I did pay attention to, and I'm proud of you for that.
Nah, I keep hearing them going up on these Met towers. I'm like, gosh, I don't like it.
No, we sat in the truck.
I was never a Met
We
tower
game planned
guy.
all the way to the tower. We went through the hazards. As we were driving down the road, I was writing hazards down. That paperwork is going to be it looks like a fifth grader wrote it because the roads was rocky. But as we ride, I'm like, we don't see no cows on the hazards. Okay, we see rocks, the rocky roads. Okay, might be snakes. Boom, right, snakes. So we were talking about the hazards as we were making our way to the tower.
Love that.
Yes, sir.
Big safety focus. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the pictures and sending me. I always love to see that stuff. That was cool. And this is no lanyard, or this is no
No, lat safe.
lad safe.
So there's no cable. So what you have to do is you have to manually climb up the lattice, which they call it monkey climbing in the industry. You just basically tie off as high as you can reach. You climb up to about waist height, where you take your next lanyard and you tie off, and then you grab the old one and you just basically alternate, keep your 3 points of contact, and staying 100% tied off at all times until you get to your designed spot, and then you keep a lanyard up because it must be used in conjunction with your work position, and then you just set your work position and you're able to perform work hands-free.
What do you got him doing up there?
What we did today,
Yeah, what are you guys doing? on
we
this?
basically went up and he went up and he put he did some coax cables, weatherproofed them, and basically put them together for a connection point, and then secured them down the tower, coming back down the tower.
Yeah, I can't get over those pictures, man. It's nuts. I mean,
That was you when you were
talk about being shot at. I know. I never had climb assistance.
We had a conversation.
Had to monkey climb.
We had a conversation once he got down tower. He was like, Mike, I'm too old for this. He was like, this is too much for 28 years old. I'm like, shit. I'm 43 next month. I'm like, man, you're still in good shape. I'm like, man, wait till you hit 40 and you're eating Tums before every meal.
That's good. That's good. All right. Well, I'm glad it was you out there with them. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Got the job done
Yes, sir.
safely. Got the result you wanted.
And now he's home with his wife and kid, headed to the beach for a wedding.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Headed to, Paso.
Yeah, he kept telling me, I got to be out here at a certain time. I got to get to here. I got to go pick up the wife and kid. I said, Colton, we're going to get the job done safely. Let's focus on the job and safety. And we got the job done safe, and now he's safely making his way down the road.
Hey, isn't that a thing to help your buddy refocus?
Because, yeah, absolutely.
Life gets in our brains.
Absolutely. And you never know what's going on. If we're buddies and we're working together, I want to know if you're contemplating suicide. I want to know if you're going through a divorce. I want to know if what's going on with you, because I'm not going to let you go up tower if I know mentally you're not there. That's a part of the buddy check as well. I want to know as your buddy, hey, are you comfortable? Where are you at mentally? People go through things all the time. People have deaths in the family. People go through divorces. People go through all kind of things that alter life. And if I'm your buddy and I care about your safety, I'm going to ask you, hey, how you feeling? Are you good? Give me a 1 to 10 on where you're at mentally. I want to know that you're okay. And if I'm responsible for rescuing you, you better ask me the same damn question.
No kidding. We need more of that. There needs to be a bigger focus on, mental, emotional, psychological health.
Absolutely.
It should be just a fit for duty kind of check.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's a mental welfare check. I want to know what's going on with my buddy? Hey, man, stay down tower today. I got this. I'm going to go up. In the event I need rescued, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a game plan for that. We're going to call somebody else. In the event I need rescue, boom, boom, boom. Here's the rescue equipment. I want to know what we got in place. And it's not me getting you in any trouble. It's not me saying I don't want to work with you. That's me saying, hey, how can we get this job done safely and keep the integrity with each other?
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me you're worried about my safety if you don't ask me how I'm doing.
Boy, do you find most people are doing that? I never found that most people were doing
This is a perfect industry. Of course, everybody asks how you're doing.
You don't see a lot of it, do you? You need to promote. We need to promote it. We need to promote
But
it.
what I can say is we can promote it. I'm not
we
here
could do
to
better in this area.
Tell what's bad and tell what's good. I'm here to promote safety, and I'm going to say this. We do need to do a lot more of it. Across the board. It doesn't matter what the industry is. Oil, gas. It doesn't matter if you're a bus driver. You're responsible for other people's lives. You need to make sure you're okay, and your leadership should be the first ones asking, hey, are you okay? Is there anything we can do? Do we need to send you to go get an evaluation and go get some help even? If you care about myself, send me to get some help if I'm dealing with I'm going through a divorce. Get me some help. You know what I mean? You can't say you care about safety if you're not asking about it.
Holy smokes,
Doesn't
Mike,
matter
you
what
hit on a
industry
big
you're
one.
in.
You know, we talk about lotto, right? Electrical lotto is probably the biggest, then mechanical, and then you have, some of the other stuff. But maybe we should be asking more about, are you mentally, emotionally fit for duty?
Why isn't that on the JSA, making sure everybody is not hurt? Nobody's hurt. If I got a hurt elbow because I went and hit the gym the day before and I'm sore, you want to know about that, right?
Just fit for duty.
Why not fit for duty? Hey, what's going on? I want to know all the way down to, hey, man, you got asthma. You got your inhaler on you. That's important. How do I care about your safety if I'm not asking questions like, hey, man, you got your inhaler, you're allergic to any bee stings, whatever the case may be? I want to know this. If we're working together, I'm responsible for making sure you get home to your family safe.
Boy,
we're gonna ride in the truck and we're gonna talk.
So are we doing fit for duty checks? We aren't really, are we?
I mean, I've never seen it on a JSA.
It's not
but that goes back to teaching a culture of safety. When's the last time leadership been taught that? You can't blame leadership for something they haven't been taught.
So what do you think? Should fit for duty be on the JSA?
Absolutely. I think it should be a part of leadership training.
Ooh, okay.
Because, again, that's where the culture starts. Follow the leader. If the leadership is saying, hey, this is the way we've always do it, then that leadership same should be responsible for writing the procedures for how to do it. Now, the leadership's responsibility is for writing those procedures on how to do it safely and implementing that people are actually using that.
Man, it actually, again, you're giving more advice for the leader than the technician today.
Well, the technician's only going to do what they're directed to do.
You're reminding us to ask these simple questions, to
and
prep for the job.
Don't be too prideful to say, hey, I want to know your stress. Well, it goes back to the kid driving the car. You're going to want to know if they put their seatbelt on before you give them your keys and turn them loose on the road. You're going to want to know that they care about other drivers and themselves. They're not just sitting there. You know how many times I drive down the road and I see women putting on their makeup?
Yeah, I do see this too.
I'm like, man.
And the other hand's a mirror. Or this one.
Like, how do you see the road, watch other drivers and you putting on makeup?
Right.
So, I mean, you see kids on the phone texting and TikToking and everything else. And it's like, you just learned how to drive yesterday.
And on some of our bumpy roads, I'm like, I don't know how this makeup's going to turn out.
I grew up with a stick shift. I had to focus to which gear I'm in or otherwise I'm stalling.
Right. I love this. So, I mean, even the leadership tip you just gave from your experience today, you heard the kid talking about pressures from family and got to drive to Paso tonight. Got to get the girl and the kid and the things packed in the car and all the stuff.
I took a mental examination without him knowing.
That's pretty good.
I was like, man, what you got going today? How's life been with the baby? The baby been keeping you up? I asked the right questions so I know he's good.
Yeah.
If he gave me any indication that he wasn't, I'd have been like, Colton, you're on the ground. I got this.
Well, did he tell you he's been sleeping tonight? Because that's bogus. It's a 6-7 week.
A baby.
It's like a 7 week. That's
he's been getting as much sleep as he can. He gave me the thumbs up. He was
no
good.
No one gets to sleep right now.
Well, yeah, he's telling me one thing though, and I'm like, man, I'm always check in on him when he's on the road because he was like, Mike, Shay's going out of town. I'm not gonna see my boy for a couple of weeks, and man, I know to check on him because I know that's important to him, and I know that's something that might affect his mental, but I'm gonna check on him and just be like, hey, man, FaceTime the baby, talk to the baby, just to kind of give him pointers to keep in there and just keep on pushing and understand what he's doing for. Sometimes we need that reminder because, man, it's easy to get into that funk because you're missing something. I miss my family. I'm on the road all the time. My dad could die at any day, but I realize I'm out here because at the end of the day, I'm responsible for paying his bills and I'm responsible for doing the things he needs me to do. That's why I do what I do. That gives me passion to continue because I know what I'm doing it for.
You know, this type of leadership safety training that you're talking about, I don't know that it probably occurs, but you're really pushing on it from, like, first of all, you have to have the passion for it.
I definitely have a passion
You
for making
do,
sure people are safe.
but if you're going to go train other people to be leaders, you almost want some kind of like HR training.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound so much like safety management kind of training, EHS, OSHA, right? And it's not exactly manager leader training. However, that would give you the skills to interpret the motivational techniques to identify in each of the people that work for you. But like this HR training that teaches you to care and how to ascertain and ask these simple questions. You're asking all the simple questions.
Yeah.
What are you doing tonight? How's kid? How's girl? You know, all the things, right?
Absolutely.
Like those are...
That's showing I care, but at the
those are
same
these
time, I'm knowing
softer-
that a person that I'm working with is okay.
I'm almost thinking that you need your HRMs to give this training. That's where I'm kind of going. Like, who gives this training?
Okay. so
Because
here's
I got to
my
be
take.
honest.
I'm not an HR person by any means. I try to stay away from HR. Because if HR's calling me, I'm like, what do I do now? You know?
See?
I try to stay away from HR.
I hate that.
Unless they give me a raise. And I'm like, HR, what you need? You know? Bank account change, boom. But here's the thing. I feel like it's all one unit. You have people who specialize in different departments. HR specializes in policies and procedures. Who's responsible? HR, I've not met one HR person out there who says, hey, I go and work in a solar farm or I've fixed a wind tower or troubleshoot a tower. Not one. 90% of the time they could tell you anything with the office and procedures with the office, but how do they write those procedures and can implement those procedures if they've never seen it? That takes your leadership who's been out there in the trenches with their strongest and their weakest guy learning what needs to be in place to help the culture of safety grow within a company. And taking all those puzzle pieces, putting them together for the bigger picture of safety.
Yeah, I think we need to challenge this. Jay, can I get one more of these? Because I'm going to challenge some HR people here. What's Up Renewables is growing, and we're looking for new sponsors to join us. Our show connects leaders, innovators, and field professionals across the renewable industry, and our sponsors are part of that conversation. Some have seen their network expand instantly. Others have grown revenue and brand visibility through the connections they've made right here. If you want your company to reach the people driving the future of clean energy, now's the time to get involved. Contact us at media@whatsuprenewables.com to become a sponsor today. Don't like, and I get it, HR sometimes, feels like the cops, right? And people like, oh man, I hope they're not calling me. Like, man, they're pulling me over again.
Yeah.
People don't like that, but it's, they are there to protect everything, right?
Correct.
They're there to protect the company so that we can all, thanks, Diego.
And the
so that we can all
individuals as well,
stay
because
employed.
if you have a grievance, who do you go to?
Yeah, go get some
They're
help
there to
from HR.
protect the company, but they're also there to protect people.
But what if we got HR involved to help improve our fit for duty assessments as leaders and gave leadership training to help teach our leaders from lead tech on up? Nobody's immune to it, right? Fit for duty kind of assessments and give us some training onto, just like you're saying, here are the questions to ask, here are the cues to pay attention to, follow-up questions if you hear this, then that. I think maybe HR managers, et cetera, are the best people to give that to us. What do you think?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. And the thing is, HR's the neutral ground. Because a lot of times, technicians are not going to go tell their boss, hey, I have a problem with this because we should do this more safety. We need more training on this, and this. We need to be taught, the next role or the next step into safety. A lot of people don't know. To include some leads. Some lead techs are just good at their craft. That does not make them good as safety experts, or that does not make them good at protecting their subordinates. I could be good at training. For an example, I've been training for almost 10 years now. I'm good at relaying the information for people to understand the ground basics, to the foundation to build on. Now, what happens after me, they go to their lead. Their lead is responsible for taking those ground foundations that I built from nothing to now you have an idea of how to stay safe, what your job consists of, how to utilize the tools that you're given. It's the lead's job to say, here's the next level. I'm stepping in with the next level of training. And it goes and builds on and on and on. But if that lead has not been trained on being a lead, they just trained on doing a specific job task. Therefore, you're going to directives again rather than leadership.
So, lead training, that's a special one, and it needs to be specific. You're leading a team, right? It's you and X amount of people out in the field to perform this task. There's communication externally to the customers, internally to your team. Planning for tools, planning for safety, planning for process, planning for procedure. What do you need to get done each hour, each day, each week, et cetera? Mm-hmm. That's kind of your world. Let's add some more safety training into. It sounds like not just the directive and process, but the fit for duty piece. I mean, you're bringing in this interpersonal kind of investment that leaders need to have in order to keep people safe.
As people become, and I picked this up from the military. Any Marine, you can ask Brayton about this. Any Marine, there's one thing every Marine hated. They hated when a person went from E3 to E4, from Lance Corporal to Corporal. They pin on that NCO. The non-commissioned officer, They pin on that blood stripe, they pin on that rank. All of a sudden now, they're powerful. Do what I told you. Do what I say. Giving you directives. This is what I want you to do. This is what you need to do. But the reason everybody hate them, because just before that promotion, you were one of us. You were here scrubbing shit in the toilets with us, mopping the floors with a towel with us. Right. But now you get that rank, and now you're telling us how to shovel shit. What happened to you doing it with us? And what happens during that time is the NCOs end up going through a course. There's something called Corporal's Course. And that course teaches you how to become a leader, how to find the strengths and the weaknesses with your subordinates, and how to work with them to gain that level of respect to make them become the next NCO just like you were trained to do. Instead of barking the orders and directives, you're working with those subordinates and they respect you because they're like, okay, he's got the rank, but he's trying to show us what to do with that rank to get to the next one. Mm-hmm. And that's where the leadership starts, is now you're not in a role. You're like, hey, I'm going to show you what I've learned. And that's the best one. Everybody knows the Marine Corps. Corporal's Course, Sergeant's Course. When you come out of those two courses, you're set. Everybody loves you. Those two ranks right there. Because you're learning how to be a leader. And I feel like that's important. And I'm passionate about it because I feel like if everyone could understand the importance of leadership, everyone will work together and everyone will be safer because everyone will feel like they're their own individual leaders. Because they were taught from the time you start a job day one. My lead, I trust because my lead cares about my safety. My lead cares about me doing it right, doing the job, and doing it safe, to the point my lead cares about my strengths and my weaknesses, cares about how my day is going, cares about what's going on back at home, cares about my mental state, cares about if I'm having a good day, bad day, follows up. The beginning of the week, here's what we got going. The end of the week, hey, let's do a recap of the week. One thing that I like that you do, and I notice you do with your guys, you do a team building. You take your guys out to different events, even if it's to go play around the golf. You get that camaraderie with your team, and you say, hey, you know everybody's strengths and weaknesses because you can talk to them in a relaxed, non-work environment, and you can get to know your people and they can feel you care. Hell, I'm not even working for Altair, but I can tell you this, I know you care about me.
Yeah.
I get the invite to the rodeo.
That's right. That's coming up again soon. All right. I like where you're headed, and I appreciate the comparison to the military program because, well, it works.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, and you brought up Braden. So, do you know that Braden developed a team leader training course for Altair? And
No way.
You don't know.
I didn't know, but
you don't know.
I don't.
But it
doubt
doesn't
it.
surprise you. I got you.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
So,
Braden was a natural leader,
and he's on his second round of students, and it's not even a job title position, right? It's team leader. So concept is sometimes you and I just say we're both Tech 2s.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get dispatched to go perform a job at some site, just the two of us, but we're both Tech 2s. But our manager needs to say, one of you is the team leader and responsible for daily communication to the customer, to me. Fill out the service report, fill out the JSA, get your lottos, make sure you follow the process. Do you have the documentation? One of us has to take that responsibility on, right? So you're the team leader. Nothing changes other than that small bit of it. So what I was going to say to you, why don't you connect with Braden and see what he's got in there for safety?
Okay.
Maybe challenge that a little bit. I know he has a whole section on it. But
here's my bigger question. Is he training his replacement?
Ooh, you go ask
Braden,
him.
are you training your replacement? Because here's what I'm going to say. If Braden's goal is not to train his replacement, he's too comfortable.
I've been
He
saying
should be
this my
trying to
whole
climb
life.
up that ladder. Train when you train, and this goes in anything. I've learned this in life, throughout life. I'm right where I want to be because it's where I chose to be. I've had a lot of opportunities in life that I turned down because I got a passion for what I do. And what I will say is this: if you're not training your replacement, where are you trying to go? Because at the end of the day, I want my boss's position. I want my boss to train me on what he does. If my boss goes on vacation, I want my boss to have the comfort. Mike's got this covered if I'm gone. Mm-hmm. If my boss is out sick, I want my boss to say, I can count on Mike. I've been training Mike to do what I do. That's the point. You should always be moving forward and training your replacement behind you. That's what leaders do. You know you're going to pick up sergeant. You train the lance corporal to become the corporal. That's how you develop a culture of leaders. It doesn't start overnight. It builds. As the company grows, as the company builds, that leadership should follow that reflection. Let's follow the leader. We're adults now. The leader should be big on safety, and everybody should follow.
I love that. Do you know I still give out safety messages? We have all hands on Thursdays. It's been tough for me to make them all the time, but when I do, always a safety message.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times I'll prepare slides and show stuff and talk through things, and then challenge and ask questions and get people talking. I 100% believe in that, and it needs to come out of everyone's mouth as priority, and especially at an all-hands meeting when you got everybody there.
This is going to air after I ask Braden this question, but he better be training at least 3 people to replace him.
Oh, what's up with that?
I'm going to ask him this question before this airs, but I'm going to give you that answer. You'll know the answer when it airs.
Right.
You'll be able to piggyback, and his answer will come out clear. Because if it's not 3, it'll become 3. Because I'm going to hold him accountable. I'm going to be like, hey, man, you're wanting to move up the ladder. You should be training your replacement, because are you really going to give him a promotion if he don't have somebody to fill his shoes? But if he's got 3 people to fill his shoes, not only does he make himself open for that promotion, but now he's got 3 people he can count on to keep moving.
Yeah.
And you grow. Now you got 3 people. You can expand your teams. Now instead of 1 Braden, you got 3 of them. What are you going to do with that? More crews, more personnel, more culture of safety, because you can count on that leadership.
Used to be that you didn't get the promotion unless you had somebody prepped and ready to take your last job.
There you go.
Yeah. Used to be that your manager would just put that on you. Yeah. And it's kind of brilliant, right? It's taking care of that growth from a directive.
Yes, sir. And a lot of times I feel like, some companies, and I've watched multiple companies. I got a cousin in oil and gas in Houston. I'm not going to say which company. I'm not going to say his name. But they have the same problems that other industries have. And it's like, okay, we got to get this done. We got to get that done. We're taking shortcuts because we got this time frame, this window to meet. And I'm like, man, y'all just had an accident. You just had a safety stand down. what are y'all doing if it's not going back to the drawing board and saying, hey, we need to regroup and think about how we're going to make safety a culture again? Because obviously it slipped away. And a lot of people don't want to bite that bullet and say, hey, safety slipped out of our hands. We need to start back at the bottom and work our way up to the top. No matter if you're already at the top, start back at the bottom and work back up to safety being priority.
You know, if you don't, you'll find yourself at rock bottom with no choices.
You'll keep finding yourself at rock bottom with safety until nobody wants to do work with you because they're so unsafe.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to apply for a job with you because they're like, oh, too many people get hurt over there.
Yep.
I've seen companies that lost people because of that.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to drop any names because they're here in Tehachapi. But
no, but sure, you don't want that.
people like, oh yeah, they take shortcuts. They don't care about safety. They don't care about their people. You know, people don't care about if we're safe, and they do things unsafe. And I've watched people walk from different companies from that.
Yeah, as they should. As they should, and let that company go and fix their culture, fix their system, processes.
That company's no longer in town, but yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I do want to kind of pose this because I love HRMs, but you know I have had a couple of bad experiences in my life, but I've had so many great ones. You know, there's good and bad people everywhere, right? So I don't put them all in a bucket, but I've received so much support from HRMs in my career that I think they need to fix it. And they're like the police, the poor police. Like most people don't like them, right? But then you got a whole community of Back the Blue, and they got the flag with the blue stripe. So we know we need them, and they get kind of compared that way, don't they?
Well, here's the thing. They took an oath to serve and protect. Who do you call when somebody broke into your house? Well, never mind. I'm from Texas. I can't. Y'all know who we call. We call that.
Don't answer that.
Yeah, I can't answer that. In Texas, you know, we kind of have our own different laws instead of California. But
you want the police there when you're in trouble.
You have to call the police to file a report, and you have to go through the proper measurements, such as calling law enforcement.
But when you need help, they are the ones that bring the help, don't they?
They took an oath to do a job, and they do their job well, and they do what they don't get paid enough, just like teachers. Listen, how much money would they have to pay you to sit in a classroom of 5-year-olds? Not just five 5-year-olds, but a class of 10 5-year-olds that's bouncing all over the walls. How much money do you think you'd have to get paid to do that?
I'd probably just be homeless. I don't think I could survive in that situation.
Police officers are they're underpaid as well. Every day they don't know if they're coming back home either.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not on their safety. They're worried about what others are going to do. You know, so I get that. That's a tough job, too, that's underpaid. So my hat goes off to any officer of the law, anybody out there that's putting their life on the line. I respect you just as much as the veterans.
Can you say some of those things related to an HRM then?
Give me an example of what you mean.
Well, just like police officers. They're there when you need help,
Correct.
Right? It's the same thing. So do we give them the same hats off?
To HR?
Yeah.
Absolutely. HR is responsible for making sure that policies are in place, and if they're not in place, making sure that they get put in place. And there's things that can always change with HR. HR is responsible for updates. You know, there's different updates that go on all the time, you know, to make sure companies are in compliance and make sure that the people understand COVID-19 active shooter. HR was responsible for making sure everybody understood the regulations and the procedures in the event that there's an active shooter, in the event that there's a hurricane, tornado, whatever the case may be. And if there's not a policy in place, it's HR's responsibility. Sexual harassment, COVID-19 procedures, all of that came down from HR. So yes, HR is. My head goes off. They got a big job, too.
When you're being harassed, that's who you want to help, right?
Absolutely. You got to count on HR. If you can't count on HR.
If you're being retaliated against.
Yeah. So the thing is, HR.
How about if you're not getting the training you need to do your job?
Then that's when you bring it up to HR.
Oh, man. And maybe they can give the training. And here was a little bit of, I just want to give out a little bit of a.
Give a listening ear at least.
I want to give out a little bit of a, can we get some comments? To the HRMs, directors, HR ops. What are you doing, or what do you think maybe you could offer our companies and our people more in terms of leadership training solely focused on safety? right? This whole episode, Mike is giving us a whole lot of information about how to give that fit for duty check. And a whole lot of it is mental and emotional checks, listening for cues to watch out for your people and keep them safe. Are you giving training like that? Maybe you are, or maybe you would like to. And what are your thoughts on it?
I like that.
Right? Because
Absolutely.
I know those are the folks that could really help us.
HR, just
and maybe we
because
just
they're
need
not
to
in the field
ask
doesn't
for
mean
it.
they're not a part of that leadership. I feel like a leadership is a team. It's the whole company in general. Everybody's a part of that puzzle piece.
Yeah.
You know, HR might be that corner piece. You know, the lead might be another corner piece. The project manager might be another corner piece. That piece in the middle is that technician out there who's counting on everybody above him to help make sure he's safe and he's got the proper procedures in place to do his job safely.
Man.
That procedure to do the job does not fall on that technician. It falls on those above him to put it in place for that technician to feel comfortable and have that information in front of him that or her that they can work safely and have confidence in what they're doing. Now, if they don't pay attention to that procedure and they don't follow those directives, then it falls on the technician at that point.
Mike, you got a heck of a passion for safety.
I do.
I think we need to get you in just maybe some shorter safety messages. We could do some better safety updates.
I can do
but
Saturday safety message from Mike Williams every Saturday.
There you go. Well,
No matter where I'm at, I'll log in and come up with a safety message. And, just a motivational safety Saturday.
We might do that. And more safety doesn't hurt. Never did hurt. But what brought this passion about safety for leaders?
Well,
What sparked this one today?
I sat back and I thought about a lot of stuff, and I'm like, I'm a trainer for our company, and I do the training, and then I travel and I work hand to hand with the technicians. So I've learned over time some of the technicians' strengths and some of their weaknesses, and I've also watched in certain spots where some of the weaker technicians will help the strong, or the stronger one would help the weak ones. But they're not weak and strong in the same spot. There's different places where I've noticed some are weak and some are strong. And it's a balance. And the thing is, I'm like, we have a couple of sites that are balanced. I mean, perfectly balanced if you ask me. And I feel like, what could I bring to the table to help the company be safer? Because the last thing I want to do is train everyone, and the same people that I train are not safe. Because at some point, I have a guilt in me that I can't let go of. Any accident that takes place, I feel like I could have done something better. And the only thing that I feel like I could have done better, that I feel that I could have spoke on or stepped up on or put in place, is helping the leaders become better leaders and making sure they understand the strengths, the weaknesses, the importance of buddy checks, the importance of learning what their guys need more help on, or girls need more help on, more support on, and just overall making culture of safety a big thing, from the top to the bottom, back to the top. And you don't get too big for safety, ever. Because it's easy to pass the buck. Oh, the technician made a mistake. Well, was there a procedure in place for that technician to follow? It's just a matter of, I care about everybody the same.
What's funny is you just talked about, and you said, an error occurred, right? Maybe somebody got hurt. And your first question was there a procedure in place? But to me, that doesn't ring true to your message. To me, your message would make me want to say, tell me about the culture of your safety.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe that's the first question.
Well, the thing is, safety is something, leadership even, safety, those two go hand in hand. Safety and leadership is an ongoing thing. If safety and leadership is not growing, you should probably be going. That's an ongoing thing, and it's getting better and better. Different things come up. Safety, you're going to always come across different things. Mm-hmm. That's why OSHA keeps writing laws every year.
Right, but you have, in this last hour, you've been going an hour on safety culture, brother. But that's the thing. What I'm hearing from you is it's about culture. It's about caring, about asking questions, about learning and listening, right?
Yes,
ascertaining what's going on. it didn't have anything to do with the procedure, with the regulation, with the process. You talked about them, but when you say OSHA,
Well, who's responsible for knowing those things?
Let me finish this up. And you say OSHA and you say procedure, but what I've learned from you today is it's not very much about what's written in black and white. It's more about who's leading it and are you really invested in the safety of your people.
Correct.
The culture of safety. Because the culture, doesn't matter what's written on paper.
No.
That's not what keeps
If
people
you're
safe.
not following what's on paper, it doesn't matter what's written on paper. You have to build that, hey, here, and it goes back to me saying, like, I would be like, hey, I'm going to check you. Like, hey, we're doing this today. We're doing installation on a solar panel. What's the procedures? Even if I've been doing it for 20 years, I'm going to ask the oldest person, the same question. What's the procedures?
Yeah.
And if you can't tell me the procedures, we're going to go back to the drawing board. Well, let's stop real quick and let's look at the procedures. That's the first procedure.
Yeah.
And we're going to look at those procedures together. If I can't count on you to do it on your own, we're going to do it together. And if you don't want to do it with me, then I need to find another partner.
Yep. But that's culture.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. Your culture's forcing you to look at procedures. We get that. But, it's a whole lot more than what's written in black and white.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's the message. That's the message, isn't it?
It's within.
Yeah, it's within.
Like, you see, my passion about safety is big, man. I don't want to have to bury anybody I work with. That's my biggest fear. And the outside, no, my biggest fear is burying somebody I had to work with. But outside that, man, I hate the opportunity that I would have to hold guilt because I feel like there's something I could have brought to the table more, and I kept quiet on it. And I sat quiet and bit my tongue on it. In the military, I lost buddies to suicide. And I hold that same guilt. And it's like, what could I have done different? Could I picked up that phone and text one more time? Yeah. Could I make one more phone call? And it's too late at that point. So I got to the point in life where I don't give a shit. I speak now. And I speak on if I can save a life, if I can help someone be safer and get home to their family, I'm going to speak on it.
All right. And you had to live this life to get there. What advice would you give to new-to-industry technicians to encourage them to speak on it?
The advice that I give to the new hires all the time, ask questions. If someone gets frustrated with you for asking questions, then the next question should be, show me where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't show you where it's at, then y'all both need to go find where it's at and figure out how to do it safely.
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
How simple?
It's very simple. Just ask questions.
And that's
Don't go assuming.
Means, right?
Do not go assuming. Do not go thinking you know. Do not be too prideful, too confident to go out and do it without knowing. Ask questions.
That's a good one. That's what speak on it means.
Yes, sir.
Nice and simple. Ask questions.
And if you feel like it's unsafe, stop. Go back to the drawing board. And if you can't come up with a safe plan, take it another step back. Take a day to think about it and regroup, regather, and try it again the next day.
Damn.
Bring it to the higher ups. Whatever it takes for you to feel confident and safe, that's what it takes. Everybody's a safety. Everybody can stop work when they see something unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
And your company will probably thank you like, hey, you just saved us from having a mishap, And even if you call it for what it is, if you see a legit safety concern, it's worth talking about.
Yeah, every time.
It's worth talking about. At least nobody's going to be mad for saying, okay, hey, we see you thought that was unsafe. Let's talk about it real quick.
Nope.
And at that point, you could bring it up and say, okay, hey, this is worth looking into more, or hey, it's not as bad as you thought, but thanks for speaking on it. You have that respect for at least speaking on it. It's when you sit quiet, you lose respect.
And you might be letting somebody get hurt.
You might let somebody get hurt.
And then you talk about that regret.
Yep.
You mentioned.
You have that guilt, and you don't want that guilt. I don't want that guilt.
No, you don't want that guilt. I love this energy. Damn, brother, I love this energy. Holy smokes. You're on fire. Gosh. All right. We're going to get this message out there. We're going to promote the heck out of this message because, oh man. And what a better timing. We're just, where are we in April? We're spring, right? Pivoting on summertime where you get busy, you get hot, there's a lot going on. People thinking about their family vacations summer fun
Getting
plans.
off the mindset of safety and what it takes to stay safe and get the job done safely.
Yeah.
Everything else is on their mind. Oh, it's vacation. Oh, the kids are out of school. Oh, my wife is stressed out because the kids are at home tearing up the house, eating all the food. Oh, we got to go school shopping. So much going on.
Yep. That's right. There's a lot of pressure in life.
People don't pay attention. My kid's grown now. I don't have to worry about school shopping, but I know when I did, that was some pressure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Buying more groceries, making sure that I had food when I got home. My son didn't eat it all.
Mm-hmm. School shopping. And you're buying like winter clothes. You're like, you get by for a couple months. You're going to need these later. Yeah, that's right.
Only to wear the same outfit. I don't know why
right.
kids do that.
That's right. They got their favorites.
Yeah.
They got their favorites. All right. I love this message. Thank you for coming and man, like challenging all of us to step it up on safety
Absolutely,
culture.
man. I'm not calling anybody out and I'm not saying anybody doing anything wrong, but I'm passionate about safety, and leadership is where safety starts, and they go hand in hand. You can't have leadership caring about safety, and you can't have safety without leadership caring. They work together. It's a well-oiled machine. They both got to go hand in hand. And it's not just a role to say, hey, I no longer have to worry about safety. No, that's a bigger role you take on. It's now you got to worry about other people's safety.
That's right. Much more pressure. Much more responsibility.
Absolutely.
All right. You got to come back. And next time you feel passionate about a message, something going on.
Hey, we can do this every Saturday.
Man, you let me know. And, yeah, well, I don't know if I can do it every Saturday. But we'll share more of these messages because, man, our industry needs it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so don't stop. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming and sharing.
You're welcome.
Message
Thank
on
you for having
safety
me.
culture.